yeah, maybe this is the new setup. Maybe this is actually the best setup that we've ever had.
Maybe. I mean, I think it would have been a little better if we had a camera and not the phone.
Well, I have a camera. It's right there.
If I had remembered the SD card.
It's okay. It's not your fault I don't have one either. We're in a parking lot behind an Outback Steakhouse in my car because we wanted to record this right after getting out of the AMC where we saw today's film because we thought that would be funny.
We thought that'd be funny. I mean, we could have gone and made one of us drive all the way, or we could just meet in the middle and hang out with Shrek.
Yeah, I feel like we've toyed with this idea so much, but it was always like, too weird. But honestly, it's a pretty good setup, I think.
I think it works.
We could do this again. Because normally we don't do movies that are actively in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're gonna, like, go somewhere anyway...
This captures the in theaters.
On the road.
We're going to...
We're, should I do, like, a little pan around?
Yeah, where
are...
There's my
There's,
car.
like, a Courtyard Marriott or something.
Mm-hmm. I think I saw like, people were all dressed up over there.
Yeah.
So I wondered if it was, like, a wedding. An event.
Yeah, there's the Outback and the AMC. Yeah, we're just sort of hoping no one gets confused about what we're doing.
Your car filled with boxes.
Yeah, we thought about doing sort of we sit in the trunk and put the camera outside.
Yeah.
But especially now that we're not using a camera.
Yeah. That would have been really funny though if we had
we
brought...
would look so suspicious and it would have overheated instantly.
If we had brought like a folding chairs, like soccer chairs, and just been like, it's like a tailgate.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a movie and in the parking lot.
There's no sport. Just movie. Yeah. So anyway, welcome to the Pawlywood Pawdcast.
Welcome.
With 2 paws.
2. 1, 2.
Yeah, counting.
Yep.
We talk about animal movies. This one we've been waiting for a long time because it just felt so perfectly like the vibe of the podcast.
Yes.
Because it's just sort of like, what's going on? Why is this a movie?
Yeah.
It's fine.
And that movie is Strays.
Yes.
I don't know if we said that yet.
You saw the title.
Yeah, you saw the title. Yeah, it's... I don't even really know. I feel like I know we're about to talk about it, but I feel like I have no words almost.
Shell-shocked by the movie. Yeah, this is a 2023 release. Will Ferrell, Jamie Foxx, voice acting for dogs. The whole marketing scheme of it has been, it's about dogs, but this is not a kid's movie. Don't bring your kids. People keep bringing their kids.
We sat next to a kid.
Yeah, literally like a small child and like his whole family. That's been like the whole marketing campaign. Like they're really doing their due diligence to make sure children do not come to this. Like every trailer is like, this one's not for kids, and then all the posters are like not suitable for children.
It's like that. And what was that one maybe a couple years ago with the kids, and it was a similar vibe where it was like,
oh, like The Good Boys.
Yes.
Didn't Isabel love that one?
I never ended up seeing it, but I remember seeing something about the kid from Room, who's now like not as much of a kid, but he was like, he tried to go, and they're like, you're not an adult, no, and he was like, but that's me on the poster, and then they had to like go find someone to like walk them into the movie.
But yeah, this was definitely meant to be like, oh my god, isn't that crazy? It's like, it looks like a kid's movie, but these dogs, oh my god, it's so raunchy, oh my god, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
And it definitely has that vibe of, like, when something is an R-rated comedy and they really want you to know that it's R-rated, like, where it's, like, no one talks exactly like this. Like, that. Like, no one actually swears that much.
Yeah.
They just really want to, like, make sure the R rating is, like, cemented and that it lives up to, like, the raunchiness that you're expecting.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, there was a kid. I mean, I got here, like, maybe 10 minutes before you, and I sat down... And there were already, like, 2 rows, like, full, weirdly.
It was packed.
But we were in the back row, and I was the first one to sit down in the back row. And then, like, a large group of, like, 5 or 6 people came in, like, a few minutes after me. And I was kind of worried that I was, like, in the wrong theater. Because they had a kid with them, like, a young kid.
Yeah, he looks like he was maybe 3rd or 4th grade.
Yeah. And it was, like, a whole family. Grade. And I was like, am I in the wrong place? Because you also weren't there. And I was like, maybe I'm in the wrong theater somehow, like, the wrong auditorium. I don't know. But... I just kind of sat there, and then it seemed like they were all one family, but they were, like, sort of splitting up to, like, sit in all of the seats around me, and I kind of felt bad, because I was like, I would move, and they could sit together if they asked me, but I didn't want to just start talking to them and, like, bother them. I don't know, maybe they want to sit there. They could have picked a different row. Yeah,
I'm
so
glad we got our tickets yesterday, because it was, like,
filling up.
Crowded.
I don't think this has been making a lot of money, but maybe it's just gonna, like, be one of those movies that holds its place in the box office for a really long time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this weekend maybe it'll...
Yeah, it is Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I texted Sydney, I was like, there's a child here, like, who brought their kids to this movie? Like, how much did you miss all of the marketing that you're still here with your child? And I was thinking they were probably gonna leave in, like, the first, like, 15 minutes.
They didn't watch enough of all of those trailers.
But they apparently knew what they were in for, because they, like, stayed the whole time with their child. So,
yeah,
to each their own, I guess.
Yeah. So Strays, we're here to talk about Strays. I guess outfits. It's not
we
super...
wore dog shirts. We didn't know what this movie was gonna be.
Mine has... Oh, I feel like I gotta show
it is a good
the
dog
dogs.
shirt.
They're little embroidered.
Do you have any
dogs.
of the dogs from the movie represented here?
I mean, that one kind of looks like one of them.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's not on the camera.
Oh. That one, that's a little, like, terrier in a little basket. They're here to kick us out.
Wow.
This is where I got into my little...
Oh my god, yeah. Every time we go back to Norwalk, I feel like it has, like, a cursed energy now.
That's where I got in the tiny little car crash, and then the girl called the cops on herself.
When you texted me saying there was an accident, I, like, at first was like, you got into another accident coming to the Norwalk AMC, and then I was like, oh, no, somebody else had one.
Somebody else on the highway.
But I was like, dude, not again.
It's the same girl again, and she
God.
again doesn't have a license with her and calls the cops, and they give her a warning.
It'd be incredible. Anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously, we hadn't seen this before. It's, like, brand new, so really...
So, spoilers.
In the buzz. Yeah,
spoilers right now.
If anyone is, like, really excited to see Strays.
Like, I think if you watch the trailer, you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're not really, like, ruining it, but it may just be some of the jokes aren't as surprising.
That's true. Joke spoilers. And honestly, there were some pretty good ones.
Yeah.
It was, like, all the ones that, like, made no sense. And we're, like, really
the more nonsense it was, the better.
Yeah, because it's hard to, like, do new humor at this point. Like, you have to kind of go for absurdism, I think.
I think I thought walking in that it wasn't going to be... Like, I thought all of the funny moments were going to be in the trailer, and it wasn't going to be great.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, that was a lot of them. But there were still some more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was really just absurd. I feel like all movies lately are either the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life, or, like, kind of nothing.
Uh-huh.
Like, there's not much just middle of the road. It's either, like... Or just, like, really depressing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's, like, this post-COVID, like, collective acceptance of just, like, ridiculous content.
Yeah.
Where everyone's just like, yeah, why are we pretending that the world is not, like, insane?
I can't even... Now I'm trying to think of a movie... Like, the last movie I saw that wasn't just so bizarre.
Yeah. Like, even Barbie, which is obviously very, like, mainstream now. Like, as I was watching it, I was like, there is so much stuff that, like, if you put this in a movie, like, 3 years ago...
Oh, yeah.
It would have been insane. Like, no one would have known what you were doing.
Most movies, I feel like, it's like,
Yeah.
none of it... This could not have been made.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I saw Bottoms the other day.
Oh,
and it was very fun, but I was like, what? How is this? How did this get made? And it's like, I mean, it's not super mainstream, but it's still like,
yeah,
out.
It's
It's baffling.
Kind of here for it.
Even like the kind of more niche indie movies. Like I saw this one called Jules, where oh my god, Ben Kingsley, he's just an old man, and he's getting old, and then there's an alien in his backyard. And it's like, what is this? This is so bizarre.
I feel like I heard about this, or I had, like, a fever dream about
Yeah,
this.
it's just like and then him and his other old people friends, because they keep going to the town meetings, and they're like, this is our town motto. I don't think it makes sense. I feel like we gotta put a comma in it so people understand what's going on. And he comes every week and says the same thing. And then there's an alien in his yard, and they make friends with the alien. And then he, like, learns to accept that he has dementia.
Like, this feels like something that you dreamed about and then texted me at 5
No, but
a.m.
it was 100% real, and I thought it was gonna try to
crazy.
be... Like, it was trying to be kind of, like...
existential.
Yeah, but it also was like, yeah, some of the jokes was like, this is intended to be just so weird and like funny in some ways. Like it knew that it was trying to be kind of funny and not. Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like in this one, the joke to successful joke ratio was not great.
Yeah.
Like sometimes when they were funny, they were like really funny. But it was like constant jokes, and most of them like did not really land, except for
True.
I mean the theater we saw it in, they were going insane. People were loving it. We were laughing a lot, but just at the other people in the theater.
Yeah, it was a lot of laughing at the other people or laughing at like, how did they think that was funny when they did that joke?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the like 3 full rows in the middle of the AMC were like screaming whenever like anything happened.
Anything happened, they were.
Yeah, or they'd be like gasping. There were a couple moments where someone would be like, "Oh," and we would just be like, "Huh? What are?"
At like nothing.
You've like seen a movie before. It was giving like 1800s train movie where the crowd jumps out of the way of the train.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like that level of like
movie.
Reaction.
I mean, I guess it was kind of a new, like, yeah, I haven't seen a dog movie where they're like swearing.
Yeah, but it is like you knew that was what the movie was. But I was here for it. Like, I loved how much they were just having a crazy time. I feel like maybe if it wasn't a bunch of, like, middle-aged people... Like, if it was college students, I would have been like, they got drunk.
Yeah.
To see this. Like, people did
it was like,
for,
no,
like,
this is just a bunch of, like, dads.
Yeah.
That really find it funny.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I feel like my dad probably would have found it funny.
I don't think my parents would have gone for this one.
This feels like a movie that my mom would not have wanted to go to and really would have been like, I'm absolutely not seeing that with you. And then they would have made like a deal of like, if we go see this, then fine, we'll go see whatever movie that you pick, and it'll be like Cyrano or something. It's not out. I was trying to think of something that's out, but I was like, that's all I can think of. And then my mom, they would have gone, and my mom would have laughed harder than my dad. And then it would have been like a whole thing of like, we would have come out of this and she would go, that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And then we'd be like, but why were you laughing at it? And she'd be like, I wasn't. Like, but we were sitting next to you.
Gotta maintain the dignity.
I know, but it's like, we all know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so recap. I guess.
Yeah.
It's not an incredibly complex plot.
No,
so
I feel like
we'll hit the beats.
It's every dog that's gotten lost movie.
Mm-hmm.
But this time there's dick jokes.
Yeah, and this time we're out for revenge.
Yeah, so it's like the plot is so unoriginal, but they're swearing, so it's fresh.
Yeah.
Like it felt very like Homeward Bound's kind of the same deal, and like it had some Bolt energy where it's like, I'm a house dog and I've never stepped foot on grass before.
And like the facade is crumbling.
Yes, and now we've met like a real street animal that's teaching me how to be a real dog.
But also, I feel like it was kind of original in the sense that I don't think I've seen a dog movie where like the owners suck.
True. Normally
so
it's
different,
the owner's looking for them and is like really distraught.
Yeah, and that made for some interesting moments where he's like, I love him anyway.
Yeah.
And like, that was different than the other dog movies.
Such a this had way more commentary on like abusive relationships.
More than I expected.
For like a dumb adult comedy.
Yeah.
It really wanted you to understand that like, yeah, you can try to love someone, but sometimes they're just really awful to you and you shouldn't leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're introduced to Reggie and his owner, who is Will Forte, who hates him and only kept him
Was his name Doug?
Yeah, Doug. Doug only kept Reggie because his girlfriend dumped him and he wanted to take away the thing that made her happy. So he kept the dog even though he hates the dog.
Yeah.
And
he keeps leaving. He keeps like driving Doug out to the middle of nowhere and like throwing a ball and leaving him. And then Doug just comes back with the ball and he's like, it's such a fun game.
Doug is the guy.
Oh yeah, Reggie. Reggie comes back.
And he like drives him all the way to a city that might be Atlanta or might be like New York.
Yeah.
I was so confused at
They
the
go
location.
to the big city. It's like Shaun the Sheep when it's just like, it's the big city.
I know, it was like so rural for a lot of it, but then it was like randomly we're just in the city. So he meets some other dogs.
I did have a question. Like, okay, I've never had an animal that I wanted to get rid of before, but like, can't you just take it to the shelter and go? And even if you weren't like, I hate this dog, like, can't you just go to the shelter and go, man, I'm moving and they don't allow pets, and I'm so sad.
Like, I can't take care of it.
What's the point of like dumping this dog in the cornfield? I know,
he's spending so much more energy. Yeah. But, like, yeah.
After, like, but also you'd think, okay, it didn't work a time or two. Like, maybe you give yourself a couple chances. At that point, when the dog keeps figuring it out, you go, fine, let me take it somewhere where they will lock it up. And it won't come back.
The dog is too smart. Yeah, the dog has incredible navigational sense. But yeah, he keeps finding his way back. Will Forte is like, no more, and brings him to the big city. He meets Jamie Foxx's dog, who's Bug.
Who's Bug. He's a little Boston Terrier.
And what are their names called? Maggie. The Australian Shepherd. There's a girl dog.
Yeah.
And Hunter.
Who's a Great Dane. Yeah. And he's a therapy dog, but he wears a collar. The four of them had very strong Madagascar energy.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Where you've got, like,
so Melman.
Yeah. He's so Melman. Where he's like, I'm scared of everything, and I have a cone, and I'm sick.
The people's hero.
Yeah. But, like, I'm really in love with the one girl animal we've met, and that's a whole plot point.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely that.
And the girl is like, yeah, I like you too. Can you get over yourself?
But yeah, so they try to teach him how to be a stray. The rules for being a stray, how you live as a stray. He keeps insisting he's not a stray. It's just a game. They're like, you dumbass. Yeah. You are a stray.
The rules are, you can pee on things and then it's yours. And then you can just, like, fuck whatever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah.
And then you're on your own. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of excitement with learning about these things, I guess.
Learning the stray code.
But he decides, once they finally convince,
they have, like, a night out on the town.
Yeah.
It's scrap night, where that seems like it's Friday night, and that's when the drunk people are out and they're dumping food on the ground. Oh, and then they were trying to get the dog out to hang out, and they're like, it's an invisible fence. It's like, it's a magic fence. You can't see it. And then they're like, no, come on out. It's fake. And then the dog runs through it and then, like, almost dies. Yeah. It's such a dramatic.
That was pretty good.
I don't think that's how invisible fences work.
I think it's a mild shot.
Oh my god, I have an invisible fence story.
Okay.
So my grandma has a lake house, a house on a lake in New Hampshire, and my dad, I don't know if my parents were married or, like, I think they were, or maybe they were about to, and he was, like, trying to suck up and be impressive. He did a lot of this happened multiple times where he tried to suck up to my mom's parents, and, like, one of them he went to let the dog out in the middle of the night and got himself locked outside in the snow in, like, his boxers. And then my mom's dad came out and was like, what you doing out there, Jamie? And he's like, oh, just letting the dog out. And he's, like, shivering because he's been out there for, like, an hour. But yeah, so this was like, oh, let me help you set up your electric fence for your dog. And so he, like, I mean, first of all, he was like, or maybe he was testing it, I can't remember, something like that, but there was a bit where because it's in the water too, because she's on the lake, and so he's, like, doing that, and then at some point he was like, let me test it out. And then, yeah, he, like, tested it out, and it did hurt.
For a human? That must hurt a lot for a dog, then.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like, but it's also, like, my grandma's dog had it on, and, like, she'd still run out sometimes. She'd be like, I'm just gonna travel. Because it's like, if you can get yourself over the fence, it doesn't keep shocking you. You just have to get past the line. But yeah, that was there were a lot of interesting. My grandma also really wanted her cat to be friends with my parents' dog for a bit and be like, be friends. And she'd stick the cat in its face. And then, of course, it went bad. I can't remember who like scratched who or who got hurt in that. I think it was my grandma. I think I think she got bit by the cat or something.
Yeah, probably.
I'm like, why are you doing that? But yeah. So that was my my electric fence story. So yeah, I don't think it's that dramatic.
No.
But it still
funny,
hurts.
though.
But yeah, that was funny.
In a sad way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they get drunk, they help Reggie realize that his owner did not love him.
Yeah.
And that he sucks.
Yeah.
And so Reggie's like, I'm gonna bite his dick off. And they're all like, yeah. Well, they're all like, what? And
they're
then
like, okay.
eventually they're like, yeah.
And then he gives a really inspiring drunk speech. Where
Yeah.
He's like, we're gonna go. We're gonna find him. And then these are the 3 things we have to pass. The hamster wheel, the glowing hamster wheel, and the big cone, and
the devil in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first thing is a Ferris wheel. They go to the county fair, and pretty funny sequence as they steal some sausages. The Great Dane and the girl dog try to flirt. And then all the fireworks go off. Yeah.
It's like the most intense. Like, it's like a war. It's like shot like a war scene where they're like scrambling and screaming.
Honestly, pretty well done. As
Yeah.
it's like cutting back and forth between like the dog's perspective and like the human perspective, and like the sound design is changing where it's just like quiet and like, oh my god, fun. And then the dogs being hit by like ballistic missiles is what they feel like is happening. Like loud, booming sounds, like flashes of light coming from every side. Like, that was pretty solid. And the one dog goes, God saw everything, because they like think that they're in trouble for stealing the hot dogs, which was pretty funny.
We thought it was. That was one that we laughed at, and I don't really think other people did.
Yeah, we laughed at everything that no one else was laughing at. It was like every joke got a laugh, but it was like 80% the normal jokes getting laughs from the rest of the theater, and then all the ones that they didn't laugh at that were just like really weird were us laughing and no one else.
Yeah.
So they make it past that step of the.
He gets caught under the fence.
Oh yeah, they have to save him.
Like, dig him out, and he's
like,
"You came back," and they're like, "Can we pee on each other? Because like then we belong to each other," which disgusting, but like honestly, kind of heartfelt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a nice moment.
So that was cute, I guess. And then a big hawk comes and tries to eat.
Well, that was another... Right. That made me think of the Meg. The first Meg, where he's like, how could this possibly get worse? And then out of nowhere, a gigantic hawk comes and swoops him up.
That was a critique I had of that beat. Like... why I feel like it's way funnier if he says that and then like mid-sentence, why did it go, how can it get worse? We cut to the other dogs, a really long awkward pause. And then he goes, how can it get worse? Come on, guys. How can it get worse? And it's like
just like waiting for his cue.
Just swoop him up on the first one. We don't need a weird pause.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, should we talk about the narrator dog that was at the fair, too?
Yeah.
That was actually
I liked
funny.
The narrator dog.
Yeah, there was, like, it was a reference to, like, all the other stupid dog movies that are, like, fun and optimistic.
And it's, like, the dog doesn't talk, but the dog's the narrator. And, like,
but it only cares about the human's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the dog is sitting there watching his owner, and he's like, he saw that this human was special. But then they like yell at him for like narrating, and then the dog is like, no one knows that he's a serial killer except me.
Only I know where the bodies are buried.
Like that was I liked that.
I did too. It was such a cute little like yellow lab. Like,
yeah, I liked that part.
Well, that's when they get to the mushrooms.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they find mushrooms and they're like, a snack. Let's eat them all.
Which honestly, very expected, very overdone, but still, it's always funny.
It's always funny.
Acid trip sequences where it like switches to mixed media in the middle of a conventional movie. It always will get me. I always like it.
When the dog has hands.
When the dog has hands, when it becomes stop motion or sock puppets or like animation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Because I just like when movies abandon their form.
Yeah.
Yeah, so honestly, overdone, but worked for me a lot.
Yeah. But then they find some like stuffed rabbits and they're like shredding them. And then they wake up and they're surrounded by like bloody corpses.
Demolished the rabbit.
Did your dog ever like shred a bunny in the backyard and like you cry about it?
No, but remember that's how my cat died, is he ate a full rabbit and broke his digestive system.
I do remember that.
Even though he was the size of... Yeah, no, my dog is gentle and stupid.
I mean, my dogs are too, but, like, if there's already a dead rabbit in the backyard, they're gonna bring it to you.
Yeah.
And I remember I don't remember which of my dogs it was, brought one, and I just, like, started screaming at her and sobbing. So, you stupid dog, you... It's funny. I was probably, like, I don't know, like 13.
Yeah, mine never did that, I don't think.
Mine were, like, they're too slow and stupid to do that. But, like, if it's already dead, they're gonna eat them.
But, like, you can't really blame them for that.
I know, but, like, when you're 13 and your favorite animal is a bunny, and you get... and the dog really excitedly brings you the mangled, bloody corpse of a rabbit. Yeah, I feel like... Yeah.
But, yeah, they run into some canine...
The
search dogs who are looking for, like, a lost Girl Scout, which will come back later. But that causes them to end up in the pound, where the guy running the pound is Martin from Fleabag, who keeps showing up in random stuff.
Yeah.
I always forget that he's American, even though he's American in the show.
I also do.
All the humans are very, like, caricature-ish.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I guess that's the point. But it does get very slapsticky here. So, honestly, one of the most, like, deranged sequences I've ever seen in a film. And, like, I've seen some crazy they need to get the keys off of the wall. The wall that... I was confused, because I was like, they're setting it up as if this is gonna work. And I'm like, the wall is, like,
so
10
far
feet
away.
But they're all like, we need a long pole to get the keys from the hook off the wall that's, like, outside of the gate in the pound that we're all in. And they all look at the one dog, so it's, like, a recurring thing that he has, like, a huge penis. And I was like, there's no way that that's what's about to happen. The wall is 10 feet away. But that was what was about to happen. And it was, like, so insane. Which I know is the point, but it was still, like...
Yeah.
This is so crazy. And the parents still didn't take their child away. There was so much happening by this point, and... my family was just like, yeah, this is a movie.
That was, like, before we started recording, I was telling you this. That was a moment where I was like, normally, I'm all for animals. I like when the animals are, like, cute and fun in a movie, and, like, they're having a nice time, and it's just, like, sit, and then they get a fun treat. Like, yes, there are movies that sometimes they, like, almost drown a dog or something, and it's really bad, but, like, usually they're nice. But this, I'm like... This dog didn't... This dog couldn't... They didn't have an intimacy coordinator for this dog. It had to be CG. I'm pretty sure it was. But still, I'm like... They really just made this dog whip its dick out. I'm like, he didn't know what was going on. It was the same thing. Like, it felt like when the dogs would get, like, screamed at by Will Forte. I'd be like... That's just your little dog. There's nothing behind those eyes. And he's being screamed at. And it's like when they have, like, a little toddler in a movie. And they don't know what's real and what's not. And, like, you walk out of a movie, like, filming a movie, and all of a sudden they think, like, the actor's their real parent. It's like that. I'm like... Yeah,
the rehearsal.
Yeah, exactly.
I was wondering. I was like, I wonder if... Because it's always, like, shot, reverse shot, you know? I'm like, maybe they just got all their shots. I hope they just,
like, get the dogs out of there.
But, yeah, so they...
That doesn't work. It doesn't work. Yeah. The dog...
I was glad it doesn't work, because I was like, that would be so insane if it worked.
Yeah.
But the new plan is we're all gonna poop everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the, like, pound guy is gonna not know what to do.
Because there's also a recurring bit where Bug, the Jamie Foxx dog, thinks that their poop is made into chocolate. And that's why the humans are collecting it all the time. And why they can't eat it.
Yeah.
And so they're like, yeah, if we all poop all over this, he's gonna have to come collect all this poop so he can... They don't explicitly say it there, but so he could come make the chocolate.
So this does work, because there's, like, a very slapstick bit where Martin from Fleabag, like, slips on all the poop. And they all run out, which I guess pretty good plan.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah. I was wondering where all those other dogs went. They just flew on the run.
But yeah, they get out and they make it to the devil.
The devil in the sky.
Which is a billboard. I've never seen a billboard for the U.S. Postal Service
No,
before.
That's not a thing.
Right. I don't think you...
Like, maybe UPS or FedEx will have, like, has ads and stuff, but, like, the U.S. mail system is not advertising.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's a billboard for a postman. and they
scream at it for a while.
Yeah.
And then they start. Oh, and then Reggie gets like a ball. Get the ball he brought from the
ball, Reggie. And we realize he's not going back to bite Will Forte's dick off. He wants to go back because he's decided he's the problem in the relationship. So he runs away, but then he finds the lost Girl Scout who's like dying in the woods, and they are like tracking down his scent, and they find him, and they all save the Girl Scout.
Yeah.
And then he makes it back to Will Forte's house. But he has all these, like, flashbacks of, like, the ghost of Will Forte screaming at him.
Yeah.
And it was, like, so weird the way they shot it.
And then he, like, goes back in the house, and he's like, okay, goodbye. Goodbye, Doug. And then Doug shows up.
And he's like, oh, no.
And so he's like,
about to leave.
He's like, I gotta get the last word in then. I gotta say my thoughts to Doug, who can't understand me. And so he just starts, like, talking to Doug. Barking, and then Doug is like, Doug.
Is that why they did it?
I don't know. Doug takes out his baseball bat.
Yeah, the one thing that he hasn't packed yet is a wooden baseball bat.
Let me kill this dog.
Yeah, so he's trying to run out, but he's such like a supervillain character where like he had no redeeming quality, which
that's usually in these movies. That's the dog catcher. That's that exact caricature of just a man who hates dogs.
Evil.
Yeah.
I kind of thought they would give him not necessarily a redemption arc, but some sort of redeeming quality, but no.
They were like, he really is awful. Yeah. And then he's about to like smash Reggie with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And then the dog friends come back and they like
burst through the door.
We love you, and they like take him down.
And then this was genuinely a pretty great scene, I would say, because I've never, like, the needle drop in this scene went so hard. It starts, like, the soft beginning part of Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus starts, like, creeping in, and you're, like, slowly realizing where this is going as they knock him to the floor and, like, pin him down. And then, like, right as Reggie, like, runs in to bite his dick off, the chorus of Wrecking Ball comes in, and it's kind of like there's like an epic quality to it, to be honest. And then this like panning shot where the chorus of Wrecking Ball is playing again because this scene is like 3 minutes long. Something knocks over and the house starts like lighting on fire. And it's like panning with like the dogs holding him down and biting his penis off as literally the house goes up in flames next to them. And I was like, this is cinema.
This is cinema.
That was a great moment. Like, it's not that great of a movie, but that was a good scene.
Yeah, I was reading, I didn't make this A&A, but they were going to use a different song. I can't remember what one. But then they couldn't get the rights for that, and they were like, I think this is a breakup. Like, oh, Wrecking Ball. And then they're and then they showed it to Miley Cyrus, and she's like, go right ahead.
Love it. Yeah, that was it was great.
And they were like, we like totally reframed how we were thinking about it. It's a breakup.
Wow. Happy accidents.
Yeah.
Licensing deals have resulted in so many happy accidents, I feel like. That's pretty much it, right?
The Great Dane Hunter, he now doesn't need his cone. He's more confident, but he's still doing exactly the same. He's doing exactly the same thing, but he and Maggie are like banging all over the park now, and the old people are cheering him on.
That was a crazy moment.
What was that? When the two old people were talking,
that was
he was like, reminds me of when I was young, and then the old woman goes,
"You used to dogs." But like, so she says it so sweetly.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh.
I don't even think we get a reaction from him.
It just cuts away.
Yeah. And Reggie is now like the leader of the Strays.
Yes.
Like it's that arc where like the one that was like the newbie at the beginning is now the one like being the mentor for all the other ones.
Yeah, except he's changed the roles up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The first two are the same. Pee and have sex with everything. Go for it. But you're not alone.
Wow. The messages. This film has good messages. I also remembered another good quote that I didn't write down, but it's in my head now. Hopefully it stays there.
Well, I mean, the next thing is...
Oh, Top Dog. Yeah.
Top Dog.
Okay, you're right.
Any good quotes?
Yeah. I liked at the end when all the dogs bust through the door and Will Forte is like, wow, it's like a dog movie in here.
Yeah.
And it's like an awkwardly long, like,
Yeah.
beat. Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
And the big dog, his job is to, like, comfort, like, dying people, he always says. And one of the dogs is like, you'll go back, or he's telling the other police dogs that he used to know that that's his job now, and they're like, well, that's not the end of the world, and he goes, well, it is for them. And I thought that was funny.
I liked that dog had some good,
like, stuff like that they would play really straight. That
Yeah.
dog was the funniest.
That was the funniest.
A top dog for me was Hunter,
Mm-hmm.
and his performance by Randall Park, who I didn't realize.
I also didn't realize it was Randall Park.
Because he's very, like, the awkward side character, like, yeah. What other quotes? There was God knows everything or whatever.
Yeah. Quotes and moments. I mean, I feel like a bit that I did not appreciate as much. I did not, all of the couch bits.
It was funny that it just was Sofia Vergara for, like,
that's
one
the only
line
funny
in
part
the trip
about it.
sequence.
It just kept coming up.
Yeah.
And he kept referencing it in, like, other bits. And I was like, this doesn't need to be a recurring bit.
Yeah.
That's like the one. Have you seen Big Mouth? There's one character played by Jason Mantzoukas. Isn't that what his name is? Yes. And he. Well, it's like, yeah, he's like in love with his pillow. And it's that kind of energy the pillow talks to. And then he has a whole, like, bi awakening because there's the girl pillow and the boy pillow. And then, like, every time he tries to have a relationship, the pillows get in the way. And everyone's like, what is your deal? And I'm always like, I don't get it. This is such a dumb bit.
Show sounds so weird.
It's such a weird show. Yeah, so I was like, the couch, I don't understand. Like,
Should we have bottom dog? Should that be part of the segment?
Yeah.
What's your least favorite thing about the movie?
I feel like that's on there.
Yeah. Other moments I liked. Yeah, trip sequence was probably my top dog.
Fun.
I think I liked sequence.
I mean, I don't know why I really liked narrator dog.
Yeah.
Maybe also because it was a lab and I love a lab.
That added to it that it was a lab.
Yeah, because it's like just the typical like
dog movie
dog. Yeah, all of the, like, fair stuff I enjoyed too, I think.
Yeah, solid scene.
I mean, the wrecking ball and the fire. Another one of the movies ending in a house burning down.
I really started something.
You really started something. It's just...
And it's so sad, too, because I never
did
anything with the film. Because I went back in the other night, and I was, like, listening to the sound.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how awful the sound is. But now I'm, like, motivated to fix it. So I'm going to actually fix it for everyone that I've been telling I'm going to send it to for a year and a half.
You gotta do it.
Because now I know how to use Pro Tools. So it'll be re-released, but it's going to feel like I'm jumping on the bandwagon now. But I promise, when I made the film, that wasn't everywhere.
And now it's, like, every other movie.
It's ridiculous.
And it's always, like, in a moment of, like, catharsis, and the person, or the dog in this case, looks at the burning house and the flames are, like, dancing on their face.
So upsetting.
Yeah.
But I did it on a student budget.
You did it on a student budget, and
no fire permits.
none of these other movies had happened yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What's
we missing anything
else? What do we feel about animal performances?
I think the dogs were pretty good. There was the main dog was, like, pretty expressive. In a lot of moments, like, surprisingly, with his little eyes. And I was like, wow, he really looks sad.
Yeah, I think I was saying this also before we started rolling, like, just little dogs, I think it's because you don't always see, like, the whites of their eyes, and it's just, like, a black ball in their face. It's like there's nothing there. There's nothing behind the eyes. Mm-hmm. And so much of it would just be like, he's just a dog there. Yeah. Like when Will Forte was, like, screaming at the dogs and he picked him up.
It was so funny the way his arms just, were, like, sticking out.
Blank-faced.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, something about that made it really funny.
I feel like the Australian Shepherd didn't look like she was doing much facially.
No. She had a lot of good ear movements.
Yeah, that's true. There were a lot of, like, it was very funny whenever, like, sometimes it would be like they were kind of under animating the faces, which I would say the CG was, like, solid as far as talking dog movies, like, pretty good.
That's what they were saying, is they were trying to do it because they wanted to keep to dogs expressions and, like, dog mannerisms, that they didn't want to go in too much with CG and have, like, you know, dog eyebrows.
Yeah,
like,
it was weird
like
sometimes, though, because it would be, like, the face was, like, very restrained, like, when you watch someone talk who's had, like, a little too much Botox, or, like, whatever, and it's, like, your face should be moving a little more, because, like, you can hear the voice acting is doing, like, a lot of, like, expression, and it's, like, a little unsettling that the face is, like, so flat still, so that was a little off. Oh, it was really funny. I liked a lot of the moments when, there's, like, all these shots and it's just regular dogs. And it's, like, montage of just, like, that's just a dog. Or the reaction, like, there's no CG and it's like, oh, it's just a dog. That's nice.
I love when it's just a dog.
And it was making me think of, like, the idea that you've posed for, like, a dog movie or a shark movie where it's just shot reverse shot of the animals just staring at each other.
Yes, just,
there were so many moments that
I don't want any internal monologue.
Yeah.
I just want, like, literally zero, nobody's saying anything. It's just animals looking at each other. And then something happens.
Yeah.
As soon as I have my own animal, they're gonna be in a movie where it's just them staring at things.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Maybe it'd be Garage Cat. Gotta get Garage Cat in there. I was having a bad day the other day because, like, just so many things have been going on, and I like sat down with Garage Cat in the garage. And I just started crying because I was like, what are we gonna do? Well, I wasn't sitting with, I was like a few feet away from him. And he's just staring at me and I'm crying. And, like, mascara running down my face. And I'm like, Garage Cat, I'm leaving in a month. What are we gonna do? I was like, you don't understand, but, like, who's gonna feed you? What do I do with you?
I hope he comes with you.
I was like, I don't want to leave you, but, like, bro, you hate me. What am I supposed to do? I'm just gonna disappear one day and you're gonna stop getting your snacks. And he's not gonna know what happened. But, like, he kind of hates me.
It's like a reverse Strays. You take really good care of him and he screams at you.
He hates me. I, like, he'll let me get kind of close to him, but, like, if I get too close, then he'll hiss or run away. But, like, yeah, we can sit together for, like, a half an hour of, like, maybe, like, almost a little bit farther. Like, if we were on opposite sides of the car. Yeah. Like, that kind of far, and we just stare at each other. And, like, clearly he wants to run away and get to the food that I left out. But, like, I'm sitting there crying and talking to him.
He feels awkward.
Yeah, he feels like he can't leave. So he literally let me calm down, and then he ran away to go get the food. That's
so lovely of him. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, I just need a moment. I think I had a book in my bag, so I was like, I'm just gonna sit on the floor and, like, talk to you and read until I things feel better. And he literally kept looking around like, can I go now?
That's so funny.
Because I was, like, kind of blocking the food. He's like, I'm gonna have to go, like, a big circle around you because I don't want to get near you to get to the food you left out. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do, though. Like, I want to bring him, like, I want him to be okay.
You could probably kidnap him and just put him in the new garage.
I know, but I feel like it seems like he's kind of doing fine.
Yeah.
But has he been doing fine this whole year because I'm feeding him this whole time?
I mean, he made it. He was here a long time probably before you got here.
I just worry about him.
I know.
Yeah. I feel like I got the one apartment that I saw that had 2 garage cats. Like, that was a selling point. That's the one. It's like, there are 2 cats I can stare at. It's out the window. I wanted to go say hi to them, but I had already been locked out of one apartment that day and gotten stuck, and I didn't need to do it again.
Yeah.
It was really hot out. I had already gotten locked outside.
Your apartment hunting process has been so...
Oh, it's been such... I literally went to see one the other day, and the person that was showing me the apartment was also there. And we get to the door, and it's locked. And he's like, what? And he, like, called the people, and then...
He's not the one that has the keys?
No, they're supposed to leave it unlocked for him. Like, the apartment, like, the property manager was supposed to leave it unlocked. And then they finally got a hold of him, and the property manager's like, yeah, I'm just letting someone stay there this week. What? One, why? How? And also, why aren't you communicating this?
I just don't understand, like...
literally,
this functions as an industry.
I have absolutely no idea because, like, I probably tried to see somewhere between 10 and 15 apartments so far. Maybe 4 have gone fine.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And, like, 2 of those are ones that, like, they gave me a code, so I let myself in.
That's so great. Anyway.
What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. We talked about the animal performances. We talked about the CGI.
Yeah.
What's
the people performances.
Oh, the people performances?
I thought pretty good. Yeah. I think everyone did a good job.
Yeah.
I think Randall Park was probably my favorite performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Will Ferrell had some funny moments. They all did good.
Yeah. What was your top dog? The top dog?
Probably the trip scene.
I feel like
there were several that were like
the wrecking ball.
Okay, yeah.
Sequence.
That one shot with the fire and the wrecking ball might have been it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing where I was like, this is the best movie ever, but there were a couple where I was like, yeah, good.
And
actually,
just,
yeah,
like,
I'm gonna steal yours.
Also, the part, he was wrecking the balls. I don't think that was intentional, but
you're so right.
Also, kind of a fun. Anything that's a fun play on words.
One of the fun play on words. I did like when they were just like, we're just gonna do puns for our humor now.
Yeah.
Like when they said they peed on each other and they were like, we're BFFs, and they go, no, Pee-FFs. And I'm like, that's something we would say.
I laughed really hard at that, and I don't feel like the rest of the theater thought it was that funny, but like it really was. That was a highlight joke for me.
Yeah.
And because it kept coming back.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Like, sure.
Well, what's our other perspective? I feel like how was this in comparison to what you thought it was going to be? And then how does it compare to, like, other, I know not R-rated, but other, like, talking animal, like, the same kind of vibe things. Like, the animals are on a journey.
I would say this was exactly what I expected. Yeah. Like, it's one of those movies that is sort of like, yeah, this is exactly what I thought it would be. Not better, not worse.
Yeah.
So, like, cool.
It was a movie.
Like, one of my friends' reviews was just like, your reaction to this depends entirely on how you felt about the trailer. Like, yeah, the trailer sold it pretty much as is. It was dumb. It was crude. Sometimes it was funny and cute. That's, like, exactly what we thought, I think.
Yeah. I was, like, I think if it had been slightly, I don't know what, if it was, like, a tiny bit different, it almost could get on the all their friends I cried list.
I was gonna ask. There were some all their friends, like when they had to save him.
Yeah.
I was like, were you emotional?
Yeah, but then it would be like I would almost get there, and then it would be like the dogs humping each other, and I'd be like, ugh.
It doesn't let you savor the moment too
I know.
long.
I was like, I was like, when they're like, we choose each other, like, we belong to each other. If it was that, without them peeing on each other, I'd be like, oh.
You would have cried at Strays.
But then it would be, like, just so crude and dumb. I was like, I can't. So I don't think it can go on that list, but it almost could have gotten there.
It did make us think of Puss in Boots. Because at the end...
That was like, where... I think that was when he was like, oh, now I'm helping the other dogs. And he was like, I think when he was like, the new rule is you're not alone. I think I was like, oh. But then immediately something, like, awful happened, and I was like, oh, fine. Yeah.
But yeah, there was Harvey Guillen once again plays like a sad, neglected dog.
A sad little...
For like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Which was...
That was a good casting.
Yeah. He's gonna get typecast as like sad dogs now.
As sad little...
Which is a really specific thing to get typecast
sad little chihuahuas that have names that are just like, you suck.
Yeah. I did wish... So, at the beginning of the movie when Bug is like, what's your name? He's like, oh, I keep forgetting what it was.
Bag?
Yeah, Bag. And I was really hoping that for the whole movie his name was just like canonically gonna be Bag.
Yeah. Well, I wish they were like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that would have been so much funnier if like every time there was like a serious moment, like, and they just, you got used to it.
Yeah.
And it was like totally played straight. That would have been fun.
I do too.
But no, they have to be like, that's not your name.
That's not your name.
Have a name.
That's not a name.
Maybe his name is
Maybe it is. Maybe he likes it.
Yeah. He probably did before you told him it was mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What did you think compared to other dog movies? I mean, it sort of stands in a league of its own.
It's a league of its own. I mean, the absurdity of it was kind of fun, but, like, I'm always gonna like a cute, fun, wholesome time. So I feel like like, I love Air Bud. I love the Air Buddies. I love Bolt is so cute because they're like cute little wholesome friends, and it's like, so this probably isn't as much of my like a movie for me, even though I do love an animal.
Yeah, I feel like this is this a movie for people who love animals? I can't decide.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of is.
It kind of is, but not.
If you hate dogs, you'll also have fun, I guess. I don't know. I don't know who this is for.
Yeah, because it is like, there's a lot of it of like, just like, yeah, dogs are stupid. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah.
I guess it has a neutral stance.
It has a neutral stance on dogs.
And an anti-human stance.
Their stance is just dogs are dogs, and people sometimes suck.
Which, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I guess so. I did feel like I did like that this, because usually I feel like there's always like villain animals. Mm-hmm. This, it felt like, no, the bad guys are the people.
That's true.
All animals are good animals. It's the people that are bad.
Yeah, other than like having to like fight off some mean dogs at the beginning.
But even then, it's like, they're just like, they're trying to they're on the streets. They're trying to survive.
My shoes are so squeaky.
Everyone's on their own.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. What's the next one? Music? Don't stop the music?
Music?
I think so.
Is that it? Okay.
I think so.
I don't know the order. I've never known the order of the segments. Yeah, Wrecking Ball, like, top tier moment. There's a weirdly intense song. It's like the second credit song that felt like a battle scene from like a Zack Snyder movie or something. And I was like, why is this here? Like, use it in the movie.
I think the first credit song was for the movie, because I feel like they said Will Ferrell in the background.
That's so funny. I did not hear that. That's crazy if they did that.
Because it was right around the like mid-credits scene, so I feel like it kind of got blurred out.
Every movie should have a song like that. That's just for the movie and about the movie and referencing the movie.
Yes. I don't remember any of the other. There was one other one, and I don't remember what it was. Like a song played. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't memorable enough.
No.
So I wish there was more. Why didn't they play Who Let the Dogs Out?
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't they play... what else could they have played?
Bad to the Bone.
Bad to the Bone was what I was going to say.
That would have been good.
Hound Dog.
Oh, yeah. That's, that right there is the full budget of the movie at those 3 songs.
Yeah. Yeah. What other... I don't know what other dog ones there are. I used to know so many dog songs.
Are there a lot of dog songs?
Yeah. Not...
I'll just take your word for it.
Not as many. Well, that was like... Because my mom, I feel like, would make us... like playlists for when we'd have birthday parties as a kid, and my sister had a dog birthday party, so there was a dog playlist. So there's a lot of like kids dog songs, but Who Let the Dogs Out was definitely on there, and so was all the like the ones from Philadelphia Chickens, those kind of songs. There's one that's Snuggle Puppy, that one's very cute, and then there's
feel like those don't count,
Dog Train.
It's like the point.
I know it's not,
dogs.
But I'm saying that there are.
Okay.
That's I was trying to remember what other dog songs were on that, and that's all I can remember. And then she also did a like murder mystery birthday where we were all different.
Oh, my friend had one of those.
I think we were all different. Like it was like a pageant theme.
That was the one that
was
my
the
friend
one you did.
Yeah, I was Texan or something.
I was
Southern.
I don't remember who I was, but I was the ventriloquist. That was my talent.
Amazing.
And it
Once again,
worked
we
out
just had the same life.
that like we didn't know who did it, but it worked out that I did it, and which was good, because I'm sure if it was like one of the people in the party who was like all my sister's friends, there would have been like issues. But because it was me and I was like the odd one out, I think it was just thief. I think what happened was my puppet snatched the gem off the like winning crown.
Amazing.
And that's how I stole it. But I do remember that. So we had like we had like a talent contest and like a Okay, next segment is who.
Yes.
Who else would be cast? Or like, if I feel like this is either recast it, or if you were to add another dog voiced by somebody, what would their thing be?
I'm gonna have to think about this for a second.
I want Snoop Dogg to be like a basset hound. And I don't know what his deal is, but maybe like he's like getting high at the fair.
Okay. I think there should have been a cat. That's like part of their ragtag group, and like they never really addressed that there's like one cat.
Who plays the cat?
The cat is played by Louis C.K. or somebody like totally unhinged that like shouldn't be in a movie.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I would love if somebody had been in this movie, because I know the release date got delayed a little bit. And I would have loved if, like, somebody was in this movie who had gotten canceled between the time they filmed it and now.
Oh, that would have been good.
And there was, like, no way to, like, replace them somehow, even though you totally could have, because it's, like, voice acting. That would have been really funny and, like, kind of fit the vibe of the movie.
Yes.
Like, well, can't fix it now. Yeah, that's my pitch.
Oh, there should have been, like, a dog. Maybe it's because, like, dog fights are not great, but, like, a dog fight club.
Yeah.
Where, like, it's not the people running a dog fight club, but it's, like,
fight each
the
other.
dogs fight each other.
That would be good.
Yeah. And, like, either, like, that, where it's, like, a really cute one, or, like, a really tiny one is, like, in charge. Or, like, the really is the toughest one.
Yeah.
And we get... it turns into the Godfather.
Yeah, that's what we're missing.
That's what we're missing.
References to the
Godfather. There weren't any, and that's not acceptable in a movie anymore. You have to reference the Godfather.
Our bar is higher than this. Step it up.
You have to be a movie, you have to reference the Godfather. You're not a movie unless you reference the Godfather. So this wasn't even a movie. No. Why aren't we even talking about it?
New segment. Is this a movie? Automatic fail. No. Okay. How many paws?
Well, the train. Where should the train go?
Right.
I mean, like, I feel like traveling... You could have had a sad, it's, like, raining, and they, like, jump into the train car and, like, watch rain out the window, and they're, like, having a moment. Yeah. Yeah. Of, like, one of those, like, kind of box cars where there's, like, it's not really, like, a passenger. And that's how they travel.
Because, yeah, it didn't really matter how much they walked, because we don't spend that much time on them walking.
Yeah.
So just get them there in a train. Yeah. Have a cute little moment.
They did walk down train tracks.
Yeah.
So if a train had come... And then it got really intense. Yeah. Well, now the rating. How many paws? Yeah, I think I was going to say 2 paws as well.
Pawlywood Pawdcast, 2 paws.
2 paws.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was fine.
It was what we expected.
It's exactly, yeah. I think if some of the, like, really dumb stuff wasn't there, or, like, maybe it was just too many jokes.
Yeah, it was just like, look how crazy we are. Look how inappropriate this is.
Because I think that took away some of it, but then there were some, like, good sequences that, like, brought it back up. Yeah. So, yeah.
Because at a certain point when there's so much of the, like, insane, like, raunchy jokes, like, they don't really have an effect anymore because you just get so used to them.
Until they do something really, like, off the wall.
Keep having to push the envelope.
Like, all of a sudden they make a Hitler joke.
Oh,
and you're like, what?
It's crazy.
What was that when they called him? Oh yeah,
they called him Adolf because he's a German.
And he goes,
shepherd.
"Oh, because I'm a German Shepherd."
And they all just sort of shrug it off.
Yeah, and it's like completely
bizarre.
Yeah, so like something like that will happen that's so absurd, and it's like that shocks you back, and you're like, "What?" Okay, but like most of the time, it's just so oversaturated with jokes that I'm drowning, drowning in jokes. Yeah. Well, now are we onto yay or nay? Okay, I've got a handful.
Everybody's favorite segment.
Everyone's favorite segment.
My favorite segment.
First one. This is not a true or false. It's just a question for you. Why is Dennis Quaid here?
That is a great question. Yeah, Dennis Quaid plays himself.
He's like watching birds. That was so funny when he's like, "Oh my god, I haven't seen that one," and he whips out a notebook and it's just bird with check boxes.
And he like really takes a moment to see which one to check off.
Yeah, and he's like, "I'm Dennis Quaid," and that's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
That was unhinged.
So unhinged.
I'm gonna say he is friends with the director.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 parts. Of, like, yes, I think he's friends with the director or, like, somebody.
And he was, like, in town.
Yeah. And the other is it references A Dog's Purpose a lot.
Was
and
he in
he's,
that?
like, he stars in that. I have a funny Dennis Quaid story, where he was one of my best friends in high school. she, like, went home one time and, like, walked into her garage and Dennis Quaid is there. And she texts that. And, of course, because I'm, like, a movie person, I'm like, what the hell? That's so wild. And everyone else in the group chat was like, who's Dennis Quaid? And then, yeah, so apparently they are, like, shooting buddies. Like, her dad worked for is it NRAs, the guns?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, her dad, like, worked for that and then, like, taught Dennis Quaid how to use guns or something.
Wow.
So whenever he was in town, they'd go shooting together. And so that's why he was just in her garage. But I was like, what?
So insane.
What in the world? But yeah, that's my Dennis Quaid story. Okay. Yay or nay? The actor dog of Bug was adopted by the director, Josh Greenbaum.
I'll go with yay.
That's nay, but he did adopt one of the other actor dogs.
Oh.
He dropped the puppy Reggie.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a really specific one. I guess the other ones probably have
owners, but they're like...
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. This one's another not true or false, but what percentage of the film are real dogs used in?
I mean, I feel like it was mostly CG on real dogs. Like,
yeah, but like, because I think they use animatronics sometimes.
Oh, really?
And they used, I mean, I guess fully CG sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I'll go with like 70%.
They said like 95%.
Yeah, I mean, it never.
But then I read
like
the interview where the director said that, and he said 95%, like for 6 different things. So it felt like that was just his reference.
Yeah.
But it was a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
almost all.
It looked like all like real dog CG mouths.
Yeah.
Basically. Unless they were like crazy stunts. So that makes sense.
Okay. Yay or nay? This is the first live-action talking animal movie to receive an R rating.
I'm gonna say nay, but I don't know what the other one is.
It is yay. It's
really?
true, yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that makes sense. I just figured there would have been something else, like, because there's like the Muppet, like the puppet movies that are like for adults.
Yeah,
like
I guess everything else has
whatever.
been like, there's been like PG-13 stuff, but nothing to this degree.
Yeah.
Alright. Yay or nay? One of the producers of this movie is the director of Fast X.
Oh, I hope so. There was like a weird list of producers where like Lord and Miller were on this, and then like some other people. I want to say yay, but I feel like they've all been yay. So maybe it was they were somebody else on the movie.
No, it was yay.
Okay, are all of these yay?
No, some of them aren't.
Yeah, tell me right now.
I know, I caught myself there. His name is Louis
Leterrier.
Yes. And he...
Oh, yeah, that's why...
He was in charge of, quote, the poop ballet. He was in charge of other things, I'm sure, too. But apparently that was one of the things he was in charge of. Was all the dog pooping scenes.
What else has this director done? Because I feel like
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But...
Because a lot of the producers were, like, names that I knew weirdly more than, like, the director's name.
Yeah, it seemed like this was the director's maybe second movie. That he did the... Star and Barb go to Del Mar or whatever.
Oh, that's right, Barb and Star.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard that was good. I didn't see it.
I also did not see it. But apparently that was his first movie, so he must be, maybe this is his second or something. Okay. Oh, okay. Yay or nay? The main dogs were initially supposed to be voiced by other actors.
Nay. It was written for these guys.
It is nay, but that's not it. They just went into production. They didn't know who was going to voice any of the dogs when they started making this. Universal was like, just go for it.
Just go get some footage.
And so, like, apparently the whole time, all the dogs' owners and, like, trainers would be like, who's my dog? Who's voicing my dog? And then, like, halfway through, they were like, oh, it's Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx and everyone else. And everyone was so excited.
That's funny.
But yeah, they really just, like, started making this movie without knowing who was going to be in it. Which is kind of wild. I feel like you don't do that with a movie.
Yeah.
That, like, you're spending a lot of money on.
Yeah.
And, like, the biggest name that you
have
right now is
like,
Will Forte.
Wants a bunch of changes when you have, like, big names like that.
But they were also saying that because it was so, like, you know, the dogs aren't actually talking. You can animate their mouths however. It can be, like, kind of whatever.
Yeah.
But
still just feels...
Still really weird.
Like, what if you can't attach anyone?
Right?
And you shot all of this for nothing?
Yep. Really weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay or nay? There was a director cameo.
Nay, because you already said the other ones were nay.
Not all of them, but yes, nay. It was cut.
Uh-huh.
But there was an erectile dysfunction ad with him and a golden retriever, and all the dogs thought the golden retriever was hot, but like it was too much, so they cut it.
How did that?
I don't know.
Random.
It was like a bus went by, and they're like, "Wow, what a hot golden retriever!" And like the person in it was the director.
I was imagining like in Knock at the Cabin, like a full 2-minute like infomercial.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Okay.
Where it's like
that.
just kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that?
I mean,
I forgot about
that's
that.
just what he does.
He confuses me.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the last one. Yay or nay? There were 4 dogs for each of the 4 main dogs.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with nay because you were talking about how like the one dog was always acting up and like. I could see maybe a couple of dogs, but I don't know if there were. That's a lot of dogs to keep track
of. This is true.
Really?
But they mostly used one for each of
Okay.
them. Apparently, Maggie was the only dog who knew anything. And the rest of them were just, like, random dogs. So, like, it was hard to figure out what was going on. And so, like, some of them were girls that were playing boys and stuff like that. And apparently, the bulldog was a star. He was really good at acting, and that made them go, we should have casted him as, like, a bigger role, because he was really good, and these other dogs are, like, out here destroying the set.
What does that mean? He just, like, was obedient?
He just, like, acted really well, I guess. Like, he could do a good trick. But yeah, it was, like, the thing where they have, like, for lots of animal movies, where it's, like, this animal knows how to sit really well, and this is the one that knows how to lie down, and this one could spin in a circle. And so they were talking in this interview about how it was really annoying, where, like, the dogs weren't really a problem. Like, they were pretty nice and, like, obedient, but just having to do, like, 30 takes of a scene so you can swap in and out each dog that does each trick is really annoying.
Yeah. Okay, imagine if people movies were like that. There was, like, well, this is the girl that can do this thing.
Or she can cry on command.
She looks really similar, but she can do this.
Yeah.
And every movie was, like, rotating, like, a slightly different.
I kind of want a movie like that, where it's, like, nearly identical people, and they just swap in and out the whole time.
Yeah. It's, like Margot Robbie and Emma Mackey just sort of subbing in every other scene, and it's never talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what if you did a whole movie, all of the actors are, like, lookalikes, and, like, you just are randomly swapping them in and out, even, like, in the middle of scenes.
Yeah.
And, like, you just never explain it.
Yeah.
I want to
watch that.
I want to say, somebody's got to do that.
Please.
But yeah, that's my last yay or nay. So, see, that one was a yay. They weren't quite all nays at the end. But yeah, now for the grand finale. Any final thoughts? Do we recommend?
Watch the trailer if you like the trailer.
Yeah.
You know what it is going to be, you know?
If you like, R-rated comedies, you're probably going to have a fun time.
It's sort of unique. You're not going to find this specific type of thing anywhere else. So if this appeals
it is kind of like most R-rated comedies, but this time they're dogs. And so there's a lot of pooping happening. And, like, what was that was a funny bit when the girl one kept trying to tell knock-knock jokes. And she'd go knock-knock and they go woof, 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 woof. So, like, that's kind of fun, but also it's, like, what you expect. It is what it is.
Go to, like, a Sunday earlier in the day, like, discounted screening where the theater is, like, really, really loving it. Because we got a lot of amusement.
That's why it was so full.
Yeah.
The discounted one.
But, I mean, it's discounted because no one wants to go to the earlier ones.
True.
I don't know. Go to, like, a rowdy screening where people are having, like, way more fun with the jokes than you are, and then you'll also have fun.
Yeah, I think if it had just been us in the theater, it wouldn't have been
fun, too, because I like when it's just us and we can, like, yell. But
if it was us and, like, just one
like
other person, like with Elvis, I don't think this would
No, the worst is when there's just a couple other people, so you can't be loud, but they're also not being loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's not bad. It's a good, like, crowded theater movie.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some moments of shock from the audience, which I enjoyed. Yeah. What do we have coming up next? I think we're gonna go into Halloween. Halloween.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we don't have the movies.
We don't know the
picked
movies
out,
yet.
so you'll see.
There'll be a bunch. We're gonna do a mix of, like, spooky, horror, and, like, you know, fun, goofy times.
Yeah. I don't know how many we'll do, but we'll probably start in September.
Yeah.
So that we're not, like, in October when we're busy trying to get, like, a bunch of stuff filmed. Yeah, tune in for that.
Cool. That'll be fun.
Follow us on Instagram at Pawlywood Pawdcast.
And then to close this out, we gotta make an animal noise.
Yeah.
I feel like
dogs.
I feel like they did a lot of howling.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Because the one dog couldn't howl. He just would go, howl!
Yeah.
Which I liked.
Should we both howl, or does one of us just say howl?
I feel like... I don't know. Maybe both howl?
Yeah. Is this on 3 or one at a time?
You can go on 3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh! Ow! Howl! 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 Alright.
In the empty parking lot of a Sonoma Grill in whatever hotel that isn't marked.
A Doubletree Hilton.
Yeah.
A little...
Oh my god, they're howling back.
Ow! And they are. Wow. You howl at Norwalk, and Norwalk howls back.